In today's wood story, we are getting in the festive mood as we prepare for Thanksgiving with some awesome table decor. We're gonna be making this 3D turkey, super simple and fun to make. And we are going to dress up our table with some nice Thanksgiving napkin holders. So go grab your tools and let's start this wood story. I am using poplar for this project, but you can of course use whatever wood that you would like. But the only thing that is important is the thickness, because this shape right here is based on 1-inch wood. And right now my wood is too thick, but I'm gonna plane it down and I'm gonna process it in order to get it to that. But if you're using a different kind of wood, such as a 1/2 inch or even 3/4 of an inch of wood, then all you have to do is adjust this on both shapes. So just make sure that this part of the shape right here corresponds exactly to the thickness of the wood that you're using, and that will make it super simple for you to make those adjustments. But for this one, I'm using 1-inch wood, or at least it will be once I'm done processing it. So let's get started with that. To make both the napkin holder and the turkey, you'll need about 2 feet of wood. And as mentioned, the wood thickness is key for the 3D shape to connect. So make sure that it is 1 inch, or please adjust the templates. Now, all of these templates are free for you to download right off of my website, so go grab them from there. My wood is processed and ready to be used, and I have gone ahead and printed out my shapes. I did it over on the laser, but you can of course just do it on a regular printer and then cut them to size. But once you have your shapes, all you have to do is lay them on the wood and trace them. Now, I always like to pick my straight side as the actual straight edge of the wood. That's just gonna make sure that whatever bottom of this unit ends up being straight. So that works well for the turkey shape itself. But when you get to the pumpkin here, you can do the same thing. You can use the bottom right here, and you can have a nice straight edge. That way you don't have to worry about that after the fact. So let's go get those traced up, and then it's time to use either our bandsaw or jigsaw, or if you have a scroll saw, that would also work really well. The pumpkin napkin holder only requires you to trace it once on the wood. And that's because the first step for that project is to resaw the wood in half. I like to use a bandsaw with a resaw blade for this. And after a good year of battling with my bandsaw to get it to resaw straight, I finally got it dialed in. And I also invested in this special feather board for bandsaws, and so far it's working really well. I'll leave the link for it down in the description. With the shape cut in half, I went ahead and used some double-sided tape to connect the pieces again, and then proceeded to cut the shape using my bandsaw. By using the double-sided tape, you only need to cut the shape out once, and anytime we can save time on a project in the shop, it means it's more time to make more stuff, right? So we gotta do that. Once the shape is cut, keep it connected still, and then proceed to sand the edges. This will keep the shapes exactly the same. With the pieces sanded on the outside, I proceeded to cut an inside piece from the original wood. This piece ended up being about 1.5 inches wide and 5.5 inches long, which is the same size as the length of the pumpkin, as you want to hide it on the inside. But the width of this piece is really up to you, as depending on how big you make that, that will determine how many napkins you're going to be able to hold in your holder. But 1.5 inches, that seemed about right to me. After that was cut, I opened up the shapes, removed the double-sided tape, and sanded the inside of the pieces. Now, jumping back to the other project, the turkey, I started cutting those shapes as well, again using my bandsaw. Now, a smaller 1/4 inch blade is definitely ideal for this type of work, so I had to spend some time changing my blade from the resaw blade to a smaller blade, which I was pretty reluctant to do as I had just dialed it in perfectly. Now, I think I'm ready to invest in a scroll saw for smaller cuts like these. That way I don't have to change my blade on my bandsaw all the time, and actually I'll be able to leave my resave blade on there. But I'm not quite ready yet because I haven't quite figured out which one to buy. I've heard great things about the DeWalt 20-inch scroll saw, but let me know in the comments below, which one would you recommend? With the turkey shapes cut out, Do yourself a favor, go grab a chair and listen to your favorite audiobook or playlist, because this 3D turkey does require some hand sanding. I decided I didn't need to show this step as it's pretty self-explanatory. Instead, I jumped ahead and stained all of these shapes. Now keep in mind that we still haven't assembled the pumpkin napkin holder, so there's still a little bit more work to do after this has dried. I stained these yesterday, and today I decided to add a little bit of a lasering text on my pumpkin shape. Of course, this is completely optional, but it is nice to have the laser for little things like that. If you have stencils that you can use, or even you can do some routing with some routing templates. There's so many different options for personalizing these napkin holders. All there's left to do now is to assemble it. And essentially what we're going to do is we're going to take these two shapes, we're going to put them together like this with some glue on each side, and then just use some clamps to hold it in place. And in about 30 minutes, this project will be done. And just like that, this Thanksgiving table decor was ready to be enjoyed around the holiday table. The napkin holder is not only practical, it's also super cute, and definitely a very easy project, and it would also make for a great gift. The 3D turkey is super cute, and if you don't mind sanding, then this shape will surely put a smile on everyone's face around the table. Don't forget to grab the free templates right off of my website. Just my way of saying thank you. Have a fantastic Thanksgiving. May it be filled with turkey eating and time with those you love. I'll see you soon in the next Wood Story.